Hi, I'm Shauna. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go over the results of week 1 of my current diet program. I'm currently participating in a meal replacement diet that was designed by specialists, both dietitians and physicians, to help optimize weight loss by putting your body into a slow fat burning state. The diet consists of following a strict plan where you eat 5 times a day meal supplements, either a shake or a bar or a food product that is developed by this company, and one lean and green meal a day. The lean and green meal is outlined in the dietary guidelines, and it lets you know what portion sizes you need, how many vegetables, what kind of vegetables, and what kind of proteins you can use. In addition to eating roughly every 2.5 hours, I'm also weighing myself twice a day. The program recommends only weighing yourself once a day, at the same time every day, usually in the morning. I've been weighing myself twice a day because I'm trying to track my hydration levels. I found when I first started the program that I was severely dehydrated, my water levels coming in around 40%. Now, how did I find out this information? Well, I've been using this really great scale. It's a Ren Pro scale. I got it on Amazon for just over $20. And what it does is it sends electric impulses up through one of your legs, cross your body, and down the other. And based on the rate and the resistance of those electric impulses, it puts out a bunch of information. Your water levels, your BMI, the percentage of fat in your body, what kinds of fat. It's really cool. And according to reviews, it's about 80% accurate. Now, I'm not using it as part of a medical program or anything like that. I'm just using it for my own information, so I figure 80% is okay. And as long as I'm consistently using the same device to take measurements, then I'll have the same baseline for information. It syncs to my cell phone, and I highly recommend checking it out because it's not very expensive. Some of the other scales are around $50, $60, sometimes more than $100. This one was well priced and seems to work really well. I've included a link below so that you can find it on Amazon. So in addition to taking my weight twice a day, I've also been taking weekly measurements. Now, since this is the end of week 1, I've only taken one set of measurements, and that was on my first day. The measurements I'm taking can be remembered in an acronym: WATCH: waist, arms, thighs, chest, and hips. On day 1, my starting measurements for my waist were 34 inches, for my arms, 12 inches, for my thighs, 25 inches, for my chest, 38 inches, and for my hips, 42 inches. I also weighed 197.5 pounds, which puts me in the obese category. The ideal weight for somebody my height and my age is between 135 and 145. Obviously, that means I have roughly 30 pounds to lose in order to be at a healthy weight. At this point in my life, I don't care so much about how much I weigh, but about how healthy I am. And I've noticed since gaining the extra weight after my third child that certain parts of my body hurt. My joints, my knees. I have problems with the arches in my feet. And I'm not as active or able to sleep as much or able to participate in as many activities as I used to be, let's say, 4 years ago before I had my third child. So I'm hoping that by doing this program, I'll lose weight and get healthier. So one of the interesting things about this diet, as opposed to some of the others I've tried in the past, is that this one doesn't call for any additional activities or exercise routines to be added into your daily life. That works for me right now because I'm busy. I have 3 kids, they have activities, they have school, they have this, they have that. My youngest isn't in school full time. She's in preschool. She's only 4. So she's with me most of the time. And adding anything else into my life at this point would be really difficult and something I wouldn't be able to stick with, which is one of the reasons I chose this program. My starting weight was 197.5 pounds. In just 1 week, that's 7 days, I have gone down almost a full 10 pounds. My current weight is 187.8, so just under a full 10 pounds. That's pretty impressive. Even doing keto, I didn't lose that much the first week. I'm hoping it's something that stays consistent. One of the things I have noticed doing this is that the first 4, all right, maybe 5 days, I was starving. It was a really big transition for me. I'm not a big eater during the day. Usually I live just off coffee and then either have a really big lunch or a really big dinner. So my body was in permanent starvation mode. So what it was doing was every time I ate something, it was storing it as fat. Now I'm required to eat a half an hour after I wake up and every 2.5 hours after that. And for the first couple days, I really struggled because my body wasn't used to it. After the 5th day, my hunger and my cravings decreased, and that's because I entered slow fat burning mode. So one of the other really great things about this plan is that they have what I'm calling an exit strategy. So unlike other diets, which require you to be on the diet for the rest of your life, this is really more about changing the way you think about food and about how it exists in your life. So after you finish the 5 in 1 plan, what you do is you switch over to a 3 in 3 plan, and you replace your 5 fuelings a day with 3 fuelings a day and 3 lean and green meals instead of just 1. In addition to that, you also start adding back some of the foods that you've been restricted from. At the end of all of this, what you and your coach will develop is a system for you based on your weight and your needed calories and macronutrients that you'll then be able to do for the rest of your life. So you won't be restricted anymore to foods. You can have pizza again, or a piece of chocolate, or a glass of wine, but it'll all be within this kind of perfectly designed program for optimal health for you. At the end of every week, I'm going to be taking my watch measurements: waist, arms, thighs, chest, hips. And usually to take these measurements, I'd be using a specially designed tape measure, but my kids stole mine. So instead, I am going to be using this lovely bit of yarn, and I'm going to be putting it on a ruler, which I have right here. And I've laid the ruler down on a flat surface so that it's a nice straight line. And with the yarn, what you're going to have to watch out for is that unlike the specially designed tape measure, yarn is stretchy. You can pull it longer, you can make it looser. So you want to be careful if you pull it tight to make sure that you continue to pull it tight, but I would really recommend just using it loosely. So the first measurement I'm going to take today is my waist. And your waist is one of those things that most people think is where your pants rest, but it's not. So let me just adjust this so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is where my pants would typically rest. That's not my waist. Those are my hips. Your waist is the place between your ribs and your hips. It's this little gap in here, okay? It's usually the skinniest part of your body, the hourglass portion, if you're a woman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this string around my body. I'm going to find where my waist is, and then I'm going to take the string and wrap it around my waist until the cut end meets the end that is wrapped around me. So I have a little measurement. Then I'm going to pinch it so it's marked, and I'm going to remember which end, see how there's two ends, which end is the piece that I wrapped around my body. So one more time. Ready? Wrap it around my waist. Pinch the point where the two pieces meet. And then taking the end that I just wrapped around my body, I'm going to walk over to my ruler and measure it. Okay, so for waist, we're still at 34. So no inches lost. That's okay. It's just week 1. Next, we're going to do arms. And we're going to do the same thing, remembering not to pull the string too tight because you get that stretch, which will give you an inaccurate measurement. I'm going to wrap it around my arm, the fattest part of my arm, like this. I'm going to line up the two pieces. I'm going to pinch where they meet, grab it, and measure it. So again, we're at 12, no inches lost. Now let's do thighs. Okay, and the fat part of my thigh, because I want the biggest measurement. So at thighs, we're at 24 inches, which is 1 inch smaller than what they were a week ago. Awesome. Maybe that's where my 10 pounds came from. And let's measure chest. Now, I find for women, chest is a little tricky because depending on what bra you have on that day, it may change. I'm trying to use the same bra every time I take my measurements so that it doesn't have that effect. And we're still at 38 for chest. Last but not least is hips. And like I said, hips are where your pants traditionally sit. So there's that bone there. And don't forget your mom pouch if you're anything like me and you have that little baby leftover stuff. And then we're going to measure that out. And this is the last measurement on watch. And for hips, we are at, excellent. So I've lost 2 inches on my hips. I went down from 42 to 40, which is super exciting. Well, it's been a super exciting week. Down 10 pounds and 1 inch on my thighs and 2 inches at my waist. Progress, yay. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope you join me again next week when I do another weigh-in and see how far we've gotten and if we've lost any more weight and any more inches in any key locations. I hope you have a great day.